It's already going. It's not even going to count us in. Can you count me in? Sorry.
I do love when that song comes on. She goes, "Can you count me in?" No, you're a musician. You should be able to count your own music.
All right. Here we go. Ready?
I'm ready.
Cool.
Yeah, they're ready.
All right. Let's
All
do
zero people. There might be a person now.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is officially 2020.
2020.
Are you seeing 2020 this year?
No. No. That was a good lead in for a later topic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So we're here. It's the new year. We're very excited to be back with you guys, even though we were just here a week ago. But it feels like...
Sorry, I'm a high school teacher, so things come out. Okay.
I don't know. It feels like... It feels a little different. Do you feel different in the new year yet?
How would I feel different in the new year?
I don't like, you want to screw this over?
I do, because it's right in front of my face. And there's that little black bump. Everyone could see it.
All right. I feel...
You feel different?
The turn of the year. I mean, it's not like anything really changes from one year to the next. You know, like your life isn't drastically different, even though the calendar turns a page. The calendar
turns, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling like this is a new year. It's probably because I'm going back to work.
New you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a high school girl.
Did you hear about hashtag New Year, New Me? Or New
No.
Year?
No, what is it?
I don't know exactly. I was looking for a launch for tomorrow's class.
Yeah.
And I typed in like New Year, New Me, or New Year, New You. And there was like a scary either Apple movie or YouTube movie or something on one of the streaming services that came up that I was like, no, that's not what I want. And then the other one was like a hashtag New Year, New Me or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently, and then it was a whole bunch of stuff that I was like, this looks kind of negative and like everybody's putting it up and I don't quite understand what it is. So maybe that's not going to be a launch for tomorrow for a bunch of sophomore guys.
Yeah.
So I don't exactly know, but since you were bringing it up, I thought maybe you had heard something. And
no idea.
You sounded very Twittery.
No, but I am looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be filled with a lot of changes, like hopefully exciting changes for our family.
I'm apparently just an iPod right now because all I want to do is changes.
You got music on the brain.
I do.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's jump in here with our first segment, the Family Update. I don't even know if I'm in the camera shot anymore. All right. So because it is a new year, that means you are back to work.
I am.
In a new semester.
It is.
How do you feel about it?
Good.
Today was your first day back.
Good. Today was my first day back. I have a whole new group of seniors because seniors, my senior English class is a 1 semester course. So I said goodbye to all my seniors when they took their final last semester, got those grades in the grade book, finalized them, said sayonara to those names. And now I'm learning a whole new set of names. And I had less than 60 students last semester in the senior group. I have more than 60 this time. My classes grew.
Do you have 2 sections or 3 sections?
I have 3 sections. Okay. So you'd think that's like 20, right?
Right.
Except today, because of course I didn't look at my rosters until today. Sure. And it's one of those things being a teacher, and at least at the high school level, not to fill in your like green book if you like to keep a manual,
right?
Grade book or an attendance book. Not to put in the names until about a week, maybe even 2 weeks after, and then just kind of like retrofill the grades in from the electronic grade book, because you have students dropping and adding. And I don't anticipate a lot of students dropping, but I'm scared that kids will add.
Well, they just love you.
Well, I have one class that's maxed out. I have one class that is 1 student from maxing out. And I have one class that is 4 students from maxing out.
So they really do love you.
Or I don't know, maybe they're like, she's super easy, or I don't know.
I don't see you being an easy teacher.
The other thing is that I have the smallest classroom on that floor. So today I tried a new seating arrangement and I was just like, it won't be this way again, guys. I'm really sorry. Like, no, never happens.
This is the
frustration of starting a new semester is like everything's new, and I felt like I was in a groove, and now all of a sudden it's like, fix it, it all broke.
No, I think you just came up with a brilliant new teacher tip. A teacher who is like either new to a new school or brand new starting out.
Yeah.
Become really popular so that you have big classes. So they
you
bump
get
you
the big room.
Yes, they bump you from the tiny classroom they're going to stick you in your first year to a bigger classroom.
And the thing is, I really like this course.
Yeah.
And there's one other teacher I know of who teaches this course. And I need to talk to him, but I'm kind of on the verge of like, could I just teach all of these guys? Can I just take this course over and like, this is just my course? I have a feeling they'll say no.
Yeah, they probably want to diversify a little bit.
And then I'd only have one prep.
Right.
So then they probably feel like, we're not really using you well. But I don't know.
Tough, man.
I know. But it was a good first day back. I felt pretty on top of it. We talked about senioritis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feeling it.
I'm not.
Well, that's
Are
good.
you?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No.
What are you feeling senioritis over? You got nothing to leave.
Right.
I hope.
No, I also had my first day of work this past week. It was just kind of an orientation day, kind of a walking around, meeting people and doing some of the introduction videos and things. So we're going to get into a little bit of that a little later in the show, but I'm off on the working foot as well.
Woohoo.
Yes, very excited. So, second thing, if you guys haven't seen our Instagram or Facebook page, you are missing out. Yes, so exciting.
It's exciting stuff for people who are parents and who understand this stuff, and maybe people who are related to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, if you have not checked it out yet, there is a video currently up of Emily with Jetta, and she is standing on her own. She is starting to do this thing where she'll kind of prop herself up on you and then either push herself the rest of the way up or just let go of you and stand for a little bit. Yeah. She's tried to take a couple like little half steps,
like little baby steps.
It's been really fun to watch.
It's insane because I feel like she only started creeping, right? That's right.
Like
cruising. That's what I'm trying to say. Cruising. Yeah. I feel like she only started cruising. Sorry, I'm getting really distracted because I don't usually wear my ring when we do the live show. And I keep looking, I'm like, ooh, sorry. She only started cruising like maybe
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was like maybe a month ago. Maybe.
Yeah.
And so, this is totally natural though. This is what happens with babies is like they take one step and then they take two and then they take four and then all of a sudden they're running and you're just like, you can't understand, you don't realize how fast it all happens. And so I was sort of in that mode of like, oh, she's just pulling herself up on things. Cute. And then all of a sudden one day she took her hands off and just like stood for a second, like looked at us. And I was like, what is she doing? Stop that.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to be cute, holding on to stuff.
Anytime somebody tells me that their kid has started to crawl or started to pull themselves up, I always tell them it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It moves so quickly from the crawling to the walking phase and then to the running phase. Jetta, I'm sure by her birthday, which is in February, she'll be walking without problem, I'm sure. I know. She's getting old, which means we're getting old.
She's my baby, you know?
Yeah.
She's the last one.
It's true. The last first steps coming up.
Yes, the last first steps.
Yeah. All right, last bit of family update. If you cannot tell, we're a little sicky.
A little sick.
A little gunked up.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel better.
I thought I was, and now I'm really not sure.
I think I passed something to you. Yeah, I do keep getting like a little tickle every now and then. And I keep coughing.
Yeah.
The kids, I think, are worse off.
Yeah.
In part because they don't know how to expectorate well.
Yeah. Ever since we got back from Texas, everyone's had a little bug. We've been adjusting back to the climate here in Nebraska. It's been different. And so we've been a little stuffed up. We've had runny noses. We've had coughs. We've had restless nights. It's been...
I think we've had some earaches, but Jetta's also teething. So she's I feel like she is in the worst spot.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to blow her nose. She refuses to let anybody, like suck it out.
Yeah. If you even try to put a Kleenex next to her, she
like freaks out.
Yeah, it's no good.
On top of that, she's getting all these teeth in, so that's also making her nose run, which then also is bothering her ears. And poor little baby is fighting hard on a lot of stuff right now, but she's pushing through.
Yeah, it's rough. So we're all fighting it. We're hopefully on the upswing here soon.
I would hope so.
At this point, I mean, we've all been dealing with it for about a week. So
yeah, so the second week should get better, and then we should be healthy.
Yeah, fingers crossed. All right, going into the next segment. All right, this next topic is one that you came up with. I'm not even really 100% sure what it means. You
don't even know, do you?
No, I don't.
Because you did not notice.
I noticed.
And you didn't.
What didn't I? What didn't I notice? All right, lay it on me. So
this kind of goes back to the fact that today was my first day.
Yeah.
And last night before we went to bed, I was like listing all these things. I was like, remember that you can't let me go to bed until I have my bag packed.
Right.
I can't go to bed until I have my outfit ready. I have to check my alarms. I have to, like
you did all those things.
I know. Basically, I was super in like my 2.5 weeks that I didn't have to work. I
got way out of routine.
I did not. Yeah. I threw all routine out the window. I usually, even on the weekends, I'm usually like first up.
Yeah.
Even of the kids, like I'm 6 a.m. up, walking around, putting together breakfast, washing things, just because it's quiet me time. And over break, I was like, it's before 8 a.m. Why are you awake?
So
So I was really freaked out that this morning I was going to sleep through alarms, or I was going to wake up and not have anything ready, or I would leave the house and like not have my computer.
Right.
Really, really important things for a teacher. I just want to ask really quickly. The little green dot isn't moving.
Oh, yeah.
But it's on?
Yeah.
Is it there? Okay, just making sure.
Sorry if that just blew out your
eardrums. Really sorry. We've had technical difficulties before. Anyways, so I get up this morning. I mean, you knew what time because you heard all 3 alarms, and I think you were like making sure that I set 3 alarms because I get scared.
When does the first alarm go off?
5.
Okay. That doesn't sound as bad.
The second one goes off at 5:05. The third one goes off at 5:15. The 5:05 is like the warning bell. And oftentimes I'll just get up at 5:05 and leave the 5:15. Like I'll shut it off and just be like, I don't need it.
Sure.
But like this morning, I just didn't. I was panicked. I didn't want to get out of bed. I was kind of like clinging to you, like, don't make me so. But alarms went off. I got out of bed, got myself ready. Everything was going great. It was 5:48, I think, when I gave you a peck on the cheek.
We kissed on the lips.
Oh, did we? I'm sorry.
You think I didn't notice?
I gave you a kiss. I went downstairs and I made my coffee to get ready to go. And by 5:55 or so, I was pulling the car out.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the car back down the driveway, almost to the point of like having to turn the wheel. And all of a sudden was like, nope. Can't do it.
What'd you forget?
Wrong. Pulled back in, opened the garage door. I went running inside. So I was like, I'm doing so great on time right now. Go running inside, tiptoe up the stairs into our room to put my glasses on.
You're right. I did not notice that.
I know, because I figured that had you actually noticed, you would have like been like, oh, what'd you forget? Are you okay? Everything okay? And you didn't move a muscle.
No.
Nobody did, actually. I totally expected kids to be like waking up and being like, Mom, wake up, or Tucker to like shift on the bed and wake you up.
Right.
And nope, nobody noticed. I was really glad I did, though, because I don't think I should drive without my glasses.
Yeah, probably not.
So, but I remembered everything after that moment.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. It was just, I thought it was.
I'm a hard sleeper, man. What can I say?
Especially at 6 a.m.
Yeah, because my alarm's about to go off. Bum, bada, bum, bum, bada, bum. All right. Gotta bring the tone and tenor down.
Because it's time for
The
a
talk. Woo. Dun, dun, dun. All right. So, as we mentioned earlier in the show, I am back to work, which means
You're half back to work.
half back to work. So I had my
Not a
orientation day.
quarterback.
Halfback is
You're
also a football
halfback.
position.
I know. That's why I had to say the other one to highlight.
Gotcha. I'm not fullback either. Okay, so
Right? You're not fullback. Anyway.
So I had my orientation, and now I am going to be taking some classes. Going to be doing kind of a training period. It
is. What I don't understand why you need it. I don't know what they're going to train you on. And that's fine. That's fine. It's not my business to know. It's your business.
Well, I kind of explained like this to some of my buddies.
Okay.
The reason that I have to go to this training period, and this is not a small thing. This is a long 4-week course away from home. Like I will be gone for an extended period of time, which is awful. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. But the reason I have to go, I think, is because what I'm doing is I'm stepping into a position that's basically jumping over 8 internal positions. And therefore, I don't have the experience that somebody who worked their way up the ladder would have. I'm
so
basically
they have to
getting trained from ground up in a short, condensed period so that I can step into this managerial role.
Gotcha.
Without looking like an idiot.
I don't think you'll look like an idiot.
Oh, I'm going to look like an idiot for a little while. And that's just part of it, I think.
All right.
I mean, I'm not
going to boost you at all. You seem to be determined to look like an idiot.
No, I just, what makes you look like a bigger idiot than just accepting that you're going to not know things
is when you try to pretend to know everything that you don't know. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Teachers, that's a pitfall of teachers as well. That was actually my first year of teaching. I had the assistant principal in my classroom doing an observation, and one of the things she highlighted in our talk afterwards, and it was like the most shocking thing to me ever. She went, the best part of your class, and she said, not that any of your class was bad, but the best part of your class was the moment when a kid asked you a question and you said you didn't know the answer, so you and that kid could look it up together. And I was like, that was the best part. But she pointed out the fact that a lot of teachers feel like we're supposed to know everything.
Right.
Or like a lot of managerial positions, like you have to know everything.
Right.
And if you haven't been doing it for a long time, or you get asked a question that you don't actually know, you look worse if you fake an answer or if you fake it to an employee rather than just saying, I know I don't know that. Let's figure it out together. Or asking the question, well, how would you do it?
Exactly.
So
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
That's kind of how I've explained it, is that I've got to learn all this other stuff that other people would have learned naturally.
Yeah.
Because I am stepping into kind of a high position within the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to be gone for an extended period of time. We originally thought that I was going to be in one of the Omaha suburbs, and that I would be able to come home every night. I would still be able to be involved at home, because it is 4 weeks. We were really looking forward to that. And we found out about a week ago that it will actually be in Iowa. It'll be about 4 hours from home, a little less than 4 hours from home. And that means I'm going to have to stay in a hotel. Obviously, I could drive back and forth, but that would be insane.
Murder.
And
you would
gas
spend
costs.
the same amount of time in the car driving as you would be training each day.
Yeah. So obviously that's out. But so I'm going to be put up in a hotel. I'm going to be far and away, and you're going to
be in paradise, is what I just heard.
You're going to be going back to the Army days.
If your hotel has a hot tub,
I'm going to be in that thing.
I'm going to be real mad. I'm going to hide all your swimsuits before you Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be kind of back to the Army days.
This time's a little different though
A little
because you have
different because instead
4
of
kiddos.
so the last time that you were gone for more than 2 weeks,
Yeah.
where it was really like you're gone, I'm on my own, was a very long time, but it was just me and Tucker.
Yeah.
And pretty much I could fill the days with whatever I wanted to do.
It was like you were just single.
I was
hanging
single
out.
again with a dog. It was so
living
much
your
better.
best life.
Yes. And I was married, so like I had that excuse too of like if anybody approached me, I could just be like, well,
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's gonna be a little tougher because I got a little more on my plate.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did write up some notes.
Yeah. How
for
do you
this.
want to?
Well, I
approach
wrote up
this?
some notes and you didn't look at them.
I'm sorry. Let's look at them now.
I'm glad you're leaving for a little while. Actually. No, I'm kidding.
All right. So we're gonna be talking about what worries us most with this separation.
Separation.
We're
not separating. Poor choice of words.
You're right. All right. So let's start with me. I am 100% exclusively worried about you.
Thanks.
What? All of my worries revolve around you because, well, okay. So I've done this stay-at-home dad thing now for 5 months.
Yeah.
5 months.
Yeah.
And it has flown by. Let me tell you, it feels like this last, 5-6 months that we've been living here has just like flown by.
Has it flown by?
It's flown by.
Like a goose.
Yes.
Or a bird.
Or an aeroplane. But I've realized just how tough it can be to have all 4 kids with you all the time, all day long, and be the only one there that can fix their problems that they have constantly.
Yeah.
Because they do constantly have problems.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm nervous. I feel bad that I'm putting you in that position where you are going to be, I mean, obviously you're going to be working part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kids will be in daycare, and then you'll pick them up, you come home, and you'll have that time at night with them, and then they'll go to bed, and then in the mornings you'll have the whole rigmarole of getting ready, which is really probably the most difficult part of my day.
Right. Yes.
So that is my biggest worry is you're going to be a new routine. You're going to be dealing with kids who, miss me. I mean that that puts an added stress. And so it's going to be a very difficult transition for everybody. And so that's my biggest worry is how everybody's going to cope. Gotcha. And how badly I feel that I'm putting you in that spot.
Yeah. I think my greatest worry for myself, because that's kind of how I look at it I have worries for the kids, but I have worries for myself.
Yeah.
And I do have some worries for you.
Oh, okay.
But my worries for myself are that I'm going to get stressed out and I'm going to snap at the kids, and it's not going to be their fault.
Yeah.
Not being mean towards them, but just like, I'm tired. I've worked all day.
Right.
I need some time away, but I can't be away from you. And so I'll like, go away. It'll come out, and I don't want them to feel hurt in any way. So I think one thing I'm going to have to do is breathe a lot, or like at these times in the night, where they're asleep, I'm going to have to take time for me, do things for me. Right. And during the daytime hours when I have to be with them, remember that I do get these times, these hours. So I think that's my greatest worry. It's just, I want to still be a good mom.
Definitely.
So my worries for you.
Yeah, hit me.
Sometimes when you go to things like this and you meet other people, they can frustrate you because people don't think as quickly and as logically as you do.
Okay.
And so I know you have a roommate, and I'm sure he's a nice guy, whoever he is.
Sure.
But I hope he's as quick on things as you are. Because if he's not, and he's the one asking bad questions during training, you are going to get frustrated. So I hope that the whole experience for you is good, that it keeps you busy, and that it is for you, or it's ways of approaching this new job that you need to learn.
Right.
Because I know that if you already know something, again, you'll get frustrated because you'll be like, why am I here? I have places I could be.
Right.
I have a family to be with, and you're bringing me. So I don't anticipate it being like that, but I worry a little bit because I know that you need challenges. So
yeah.
And then, of course, there are the worries for the kids.
Yes,
and
definitely.
A lot of what you said actually is my worries for the kids. And in large part because, like, I don't know if you really put into thought the mornings.
I've
Either
tried, but I haven't got it totally nailed down.
Well, even I'm just thinking about time.
Yeah.
I either need to go in later, or the kids have to get up way early. Yeah. And I'm thinking that I'm going to have to give and go in a little later.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I think about that and I'm like, that means I'm going to hit traffic. That means hopefully I'm not late.
Right.
You know, all these things. And so my worries for the kids in the morning are that we're going to find a routine, and sort of bounces back with the nighttime too. We'll find a routine where we can get them to bed early enough so that we can get up early enough.
Right.
And stay happy with each other, and even have the routine at night of pick out your clothes now. Am I doing your hair in the morning, or are we just brushing your hair out? You know, like just having everything set beforehand so that the next morning, excuse me, everything just flows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's really going to be a challenge for everybody. It's not just going to be me or just for a you thing. It's really going to be, it's going to take a toll on everybody. I mean, just being gone, I'm going to miss you guys a ton. You know, I'm going to.
Maybe not the first night.
I'm not going to lie. There are going to be some nice, relaxing moments that I haven't had in a while. That's for sure. I'm definitely going to take advantage of some things like the hot tub
if there's a hot tub,
if there's a hot tub to, you know, kind of calm down and shake off some of the stresses, because there will be other stresses that will come, since I'll be in an area where other people that we know live. I'm planning on trying to get together with some people and,
that's nice.
You know, and just try and, since I'm stuck there, I might as well make the most of it.
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the best way to look at it.
Since I'm stuck there, I'll make the most of it.
Yeah. So yeah, there will be some nice, fun aspects, but always lurking in the background will be I will always feel bad. I will have that guilt about it, you know, because I'm not there to help you.
I get that.
And to help the kids. And obviously when I do come back, then the routine is probably going to change again, because I won't have to go in as early. And so the kids can start going in a little later. And it'll just be a whole mess, and we'll figure it out again.
That first day that they get to sleep in and then get back up with you and then go to daycare and school, everything, that they're going to think that's heaven, and they're going to love you for it. You do this.
Yeah.
Don't you? You turn on the psychological stuff, don't you?
No.
And you always make yourself the hero.
No, I don't do that. That's how it works out. I always land with my, what is it, butt in the butter?
Yes, you always land with your butt in the butter. You do.
I don't know who wants their butt covered with butter, but
maybe it's very soothing in certain situations. I don't know. I think it just means that you always land like in like the best situation, right? If you're gonna fall into the fridge, why not fall into the soft butter? I don't know. I don't know where it comes from. My mother said it often, and I've picked up on it, and I talk about that all the time. And I do say it to other people outside of the family, and they give me a look like you.
Like, what? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So did you want to address what the hardest thing you think is going to be, or did we?
What I think the hardest thing.
Yeah.
The hardest thing for me will be, I'm going to be really brutally honest. The hardest thing for me is moments where I'm going to resent you a little bit. And
Yeah.
I have
No,
to,
I
I have to
totally get that.
recognize it, like I will resent you because it'll be like, you're not here, you're not helping, you're off doing whatever it is you're doing
Right.
tonight or today or this morning or
Yep.
and my life is just and and I know that I'm going to have those moments, and the key will be again finding those moments of quiet to like resettle myself
Right.
and know that this is temporary and not really your choice
Yeah.
of things. Because I've definitely had those moments in the past in relationship to your military
Right.
career where it's been, you had to go for the weekend and I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
All just me and 3 kids, and I was pregnant. Right,
yeah.
It was frustrating. And I know that, with 4 weeks, that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
So I think that's my hardest thing.
Yeah, no.
Hardest thing I'll have to cope with.
I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to have some times to come home either on weekends, or I know there's a couple breaks scheduled. But yeah, it is going to be really tough to be away, especially because I've gotten into this whole routine of being with the kids, especially all the time, and with you whenever you are home, especially over this Christmas break. We've been together a lot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a very rude awakening, being kind of like you were at the beginning. It's kind of like single and like on your own,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to play it that way, obviously, but you know what I mean. But I think the hardest thing for me is probably going to be, this is going to sound bad, but like not having too much fun with it, and then like making you more mad at me because I tell you about the fun parts.
We'll FaceTime and you'll be like, oh, we did this really cool thing today. And I'll be like, I am cleaning up poop,
Right.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even just like, if I go out to visit some friends and then I'm like,
Right.
yeah, I'm going to go do this. And you're like, well, I'm at home,
Yeah.
I don't want to make you feel bad.
I know.
So
yeah.
That's I think
sweet of you, but I also, like, I got to suck it up. And if I say stuff like that, you got to be like, well, you know what, honey, suck it up.
Yeah. So yeah, it is going to be difficult. It is going to be a challenge for us, but hopefully in the end, it's going to be really rewarding, a good experience.
And hopefully we come out on the other side stronger as a family.
Yeah, I hope so. I do get home right before Valentine's Day, so hopefully that means a big...
And right before your birthday.
...shebang for, I guess, both of us coming home. Like a big ta-da for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I love Valentine's Day. You know that.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that last year.
I know. It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But, and we will figure out what we're doing for the podcast in the meantime. We're thinking about either doing kind of a Skype call or maybe doing some video journaling back and forth. We'll keep you posted.
I feel like video journaling could be really interesting.
Especially for my roommate.
Here's what I did today.
All right.
That is not even close to any of our riffs.
You're correct, sir. All right. So if you did not get enough of our Star Wars talk last week, guess what? We're back with another Star Wars review. Yeah. All right. This time we are going to be talking about the Star Wars TV show that's currently available on Disney Plus called The Mandalorian. So good.
It's so good.
It was released episodically, like traditional TV shows where you get one episode a week, which we're going to talk about that too. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm glad you said that before I blurted.
But all the episodes have been released. They've been out for what, 2 weeks now? 2 weeks now.
So you could binge it.
So you could have seen it all by now. We'll give you a short spoiler-free review, and then we're going to give you a spoiler warning, and then we're going to dive right in. So if you haven't seen it, or you want to see it, or you don't want to be spoiled, get the heck out of here. Yeah?
I was a little harsh,
Sorry.
I think.
All right. So spoiler-free review for The Mandalorian. Go.
Oh, what? You didn't. Okay. Spoiler-free review of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like what if I was the New York Times critic,
Yes.
right? Like this is the blurb that would come up. I'm an English teacher, lost for words. First? Yeah, you go first.
All right, so I really enjoyed this TV show. Because it was released episodically, I thought that actually did it some favors. I personally enjoyed that aspect, kind of going back to the olden days of seeing one episode a week.
You said we were going to talk about this later.
Yeah, okay. Sorry if you let me leave that off. But overall, I thought it was really well executed. This is the first time we've had a live action Star Wars TV show. We've had animated series in the past, which I also really enjoyed. 2 of the 3. I haven't seen the third one. It's gotten some mixed reviews. But the 2 that I have seen, I really enjoyed. And I thought for a live action series, the first time, I thought they knocked it out of the park with the CGI, with the costuming, with the storytelling. Cool. Yeah, I thought all of it was really well executed. So that's my spoiler free.
Okay.
So watch it. That's my
I don't like entertaining. These are my big splash words.
Yeah.
Gripping moments. Humorous. I don't know. A space western of epic proportions. I don't know. It was really good. It was really good. I also liked that it was released episodically, as you said.
I don't know. I'm coining phrases now.
Words. You're in the new Shakespeare. I felt like the characters were both relatable for people today and true to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean overall, like A rating.
Yeah.
In large part because there aren't A pluses. When they say A plus, that's stupid because no, you don't give pluses on an A. But an A rating. And I also like it's one of those things where you do not have to understand Star Wars to jump in and enjoy this show.
True. Definitely true.
It stands alone. You don't need a whole lot of history. It's clear that there are bad guys and good guys, or even just bad guys and people.
Yeah.
Kind of like the world. And you know, some really great characters all around.
Awesome. All right. Ready to jump into the spoilers?
Yeah.
All right. Spoiler warning. So if you don't want to be spoiled for The Mandalorian, we are going to hit it for probably like 10 minutes or so.
Okay, 10 minutes. Okay, good.
All right.
Because see, last time when you were like, we're going to do Star Wars all night, I was like, sweet, yeah, like 15 minutes a thing. And then it was like 2 things that each took half an hour.
True. All righty. So that's your spoiler warning. We're going to jump into the spoilers right now. All right. So,
yes.
Story-wise, this takes place about 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So if you don't know when that is 5 years after Luke Skywalker brings Darth Vader back to the good side.
And they blow up the second Death Star. But this is way before the
Force Awakens
Starkiller base business.
Yes.
Basically, the Empire hasn't had time to reform into a full awful evil
empire
again. Well, I was gonna say the first order. Thank you. And so it's the reason I said space western is because it's in this sort of like setting of lawlessness, or like there are supposed to be rules, but who's enforcing them?
Right.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it really takes place in kind of this nowhere town, this nowhere planet in the middle of nowhere. It's very westerny. Like, there's this guy, and
He's a real nowhere man, making all his nowhere plans.
Exactly.
I think I screwed that up, but I think it's living in his nowhere land, making all his nowhere plans
Yeah.
for nobody.
But yeah, so there's this guy, and he is a bounty hunter. He captures or kills people for hire,
he's like Boba Fett.
and he looks like Boba Fett, right? And so he's got the iconic,
But he's not Boba
but
Fett.
he's not Boba Fett. He has this iconic armor that everybody kind of recognizes. He's part of everybody calls him the Mandalorian.
He's part of this guild that is all about just bounty hunting. And at first he just seems like this regular old bounty hunter. Like you're probably just going to follow him along show by show as he picks up new people, new bounties.
Yeah, that's really what I was expecting.
Me
I was
too.
expecting to see some of the darker side of Star Wars, get some more
to really follow an opportunist as just an opportunist rather than like opportunist turned hero or hero disguised as opportunist.
Yeah.
And it's not quite what you get.
No.
But I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think it's okay too.
You still see the struggle of the opportunist within him.
Yeah, throughout the entire show, it remains very gritty. It remains very, I wouldn't say dark, but has more of a, gritty is really the best word for it, feel to it. Everything happens kind of in these places that you wouldn't really want to go if you're an upstanding character.
Yeah.
And it's really a new, interesting perspective on the universe. We get a lot of interesting character designs. We get a lot of throwbacks to different eras in the Star Wars universe for aliens, for creatures, for vehicles, a lot of stuff. They really tied in a lot of stuff to kind of do some fan service, but I think it really helped to establish like, yes, this is the same world, the same universe.
Yeah. I'd agree. Yeah.
So
ditto.
Probably the biggest fan servicey thing they did was bring in, if you haven't seen this, it's so cute. It is like a baby version of Yoda.
It's adorable.
It's the greatest thing ever.
And it's one of those things where you think about it and you think about Yoda and you're like, there's not like Yoda's cute, but he's like wrinkly and old.
Yeah, he's like 900.
Right. When 900 years old I am, look as good I will not.
True. Very true.
But I wouldn't necessarily say that Yoda is something that I looked at and was like, oh, look at Yoda.
Right, like that needs a baby form.
Right. And then they did it and I was like, where has this been?
Yes.
This is the pet that every girl, you know how there used to be like in the late 90s, early 2000s, especially early 2000s. It was like this thing to like have tiny dogs in your purse.
Yes.
Like I just want a Yoda baby in my purse.
Yeah.
Just
this pet.
Like rub his ears because he seems to like that.
That's true.
And they're just like
can't see my ear.
Yeah.
So basically the show sets up where the Mandalorian has this big bounty that he's going after. He has to take out a bunch of bad guys to get to it. And when he finds it, he's told that it's 50 years old, but it turns out that it's this baby Yoda, which, I mean, baby Yoda lives for 900 years.
Yeah.
A 50-year-old
is
probably
nothing.
it's probably like 5-ish in human years. I mean, if you scale it the same way.
Okay. But basically this thing doesn't have language yet.
Right.
But it's super good with the Force. Mm-hmm. Or like, I shouldn't say super good with.
It's very strong.
Yeah, it understands that it has these abilities. It doesn't know how to use it all well yet. Yeah. And there are just some really beautiful, cute moments. There are moments where Baby Yoda saves the Mandalorian. There are moments where the Mandalorian saves Baby Yoda. And like they just make the best companions.
Yeah.
And at one point I thought we were going to split the two up. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of okay with it. Like I was okay as long as he's safe.
Right.
You know, and then they didn't. And I was like, all right, fine. Well, as long as the story keeps moving, it'll be fine. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I felt like it kind of ended on a happy note. And that always makes me nervous then for where it's going.
Yeah, definitely.
If it's not left with like but you have to come back because we have to resolve this.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it keeps its intensity for the next season.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love that it was released episode by episode. You even mentioned that you think it did it some service.
Yeah.
And I would agree because there were definitely some episodes that were, I don't want to say boring, but they were the low point in the emotional roller coaster where
Right.
you were coasting. But you needed those to build characters and to kind of give yourself a break
Right.
from some of the other more intense things.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There's kind of a crew that gets formed throughout the season. The season's only 8 episodes long. And so you slowly meet all these different people who become recurring characters. And so taking that time, like you said, it does help to build them up and to do a little bit of exposition for people who don't know Star Wars as much.
Yep, true.
It kind of helps to fill in some of those gaps. But overall, I thought the performances were really good. Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, I thought, I mean, he wears a helmet the whole time, so you never see his face. But his body language, I think, really helps to express and give him a lot of character, even though you can't see his face.
I feel like I know him very well, even though I have never seen his facial expressions.
Right. Yeah. A few of the other characters, I mean, Baby Yoda, I'm pretty sure it's 100% puppeted. Whoever the puppeteer is, I don't know if it's Frank Oz again, but whoever it is doing an excellent. I mean, Baby Yoda is the cutest thing ever.
A+.
A+ puppeteering.
A+ puppeteering.
Cara Dune is played by an MMA fighter. I forget her name.
But she's also like a pretty good with the acting. Well,
she plays the role well.
Yeah, she does it well. Yeah.
So very impressed with her.
She's tough when she needs to be tough, but she also has some tender moments that I'm pretty cool with.
Yeah. There's a few other side characters that don't get as much attention. There's a couple of characters who play different aliens who, even though they're made up, even though they're made up.
There you go. Made up. Yes.
They're really expressive and they do a good job of acting through the makeup. I don't know. Overall, I was just really impressed with the acting of the main crew. There were a few side characters in some of the more lulling episodes that I felt were like just terrible. Some that come to mind are like the hangar lady.
That was bizarre.
Basically, most of the characters in the episode on Tatooine were pretty trash. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, could have been better.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as the acting for the main characters, I thought it was done really well.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. So we recommend.
Yes, definitely recommend. It is streaming on Disney Plus. Like I said, there's only 8 episodes. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. But not a heavy watch time-wise. There is another season in production now. It will be coming out, I think they said, in the fall of this year. So we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
And it did leave us on kind of a cliffhanger for people who are more familiar. Well, if you have no experience with the rest of Star Wars other than the mainline movies, you're probably like, what the heck is going on? But for those of us who are into the animated shows, the very end of the last episode, so major spoiler warning, we get to see the dark saber, which is a black lightsaber that holds more of a bladed edge to it. It looks like an actual sword as opposed to like a normal lightsaber. This thing is, I mean, it's very unique, very cool. Comes from the Clone Wars and from the Star Wars Rebels. And so seeing it on screen, I mean, it totally shocked and blew me away.
Blew you away.
I thought it was awesome.
It was
So very excited to see what happens with that cliffhanger.
Sounds good.
And
Yeah.
just excited for season 2.
Whoop,
So
whoop.
definitely check it out.
Yes.
All right. Cool.
Alrighty.
Mom, the music. I didn't want to yell in your ear.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah. So my musing this week has to do with what we were talking about in one of my class today.
Oh.
So I had my seniors read some articles about senioritis.
Yeah.
And one of the articles suggested some ways to kind of fight senioritis by doing things that are going to help prepare for your future.
I have a feeling I know where this is going now.
Do you? Yeah. And one of the things, it was funny. So one of the things that was suggested was date someone, get into a relationship. Right.
Okay. That's not the usual
It's not the usual
pre-college advice.
Right. And that was and I kind of tried to reinterpret it for them because I don't think it was written with the best wording for what I think they're suggesting.
Okay.
And it kind of sounded to my students like it was suggesting like start a longer term relationship right before you go to college. And they're like, that's a terrible idea. And I was like, I agree. Don't do that.
At least they're smart.
Don't do that. Right. They're smart guys. I said, I think what it's actually suggesting you do is go on a bunch of first dates. Ask girls out. Take people to dinner. Go to the movies. Get coffee. Sit. Have awkward first dates.
Right.
Date people before you go. Not actually like start long-term relationships, but go out one-on-one with the opposite gender and interact.
Yeah.
And
especially if
they
you
all
go to
kind
an
of
all-boys school.
And they were a little thrown off. And I said, it's because they're suggesting that you don't have this skill yet. And they kind of looked at me like, oh, like maybe I don't.
Right.
And I kind of had to explain to them, the trend has been going towards for 20s and into your mid 30s, if you're trying to find someone out there to date and have a relationship with, you have now turned to this whole world of digital online match me with swipe right or swipe left world.
Yeah.
I said, and it totally has taken away the relationship, the talking, the being with someone
and the having to figure it out yourself.
And I said, so I think what it's suggesting to you is that you have to do this a bunch of times. And the sooner you can do it in a pool where maybe you feel more comfortable, like maybe with some girls who are friends who you're seeing it as like a coffee date, but maybe they're not.
Right.
Where they're just hanging out with you, but you can work on some of your guy skills. Then when you get dropped into this pool of college or this pool of wherever, the workforce, a technical school, whatever, and you're in this whole new group with new people and new females,
right?
You have some game. You have
work on your game.
Some ability to actually sit and have a conversation with a girl, actually sit and take a girl out on a date and not just be like, well, I'm just going to be on my phone over here at Olive Garden and you be on your phone over there at Olive Garden and we're not actually talking to each other.
Right.
And they actually kind of like warmed up to it. And all of a sudden, thinking about it and thinking about the future and thinking about our kids, we like to joke a lot about like, oh, when she has her boyfriend over, we're going to be so annoying and so embarrassing. And, right. I joke about like, right. Oh my gosh, like that one daughter, you look at how she stands and she walks, we're going to have a boy issue, like but then I think about it. I know, and I freak you out and you hate it, but I think about it then and I go, I don't know if we will, because everything is being done here on the with the thumbs and the phone and the computer. And I think even at the high school level, that happens so much. And it freaks me out because I think there was a sense of security for me and for my parents when it was like, oh, I'm going to go out with this person and they either have to pick me up and so then my parents would meet them, or it was like we needed to go somewhere where my parents knew we were and other people were there,
Right.
and there was sort of an eye being kept on us.
Yeah.
And over time they would always get to know the people, and you don't always know what's on the other side of the phone or the computer.
Right.
And even if they're, talking to someone on the phone from school, if it's on the phone, I don't necessarily know about it. I don't get to ask them about it. Maybe I won't get to meet the person. I want not control, but I want to have that element of like buffer. I want involved. And so it was just an interesting thing thinking about the way things were.
Yeah.
Even for you and me.
Yeah.
And in high school even too, like going places with people.
Yeah.
Being with people
very organically.
Right. And my fear of the future, because I just don't know. I never foresaw swiping
right
to create a match, or going on an electronic online dating service to create a match. I just didn't imagine that growing up.
Yeah.
And then it came along and I was sort of like, okay, yeah, sure, duh. But I worry about what's the next step of, okay, yeah, sure, duh.
Right. Yeah, I just feel like that's such a sad, like if that's the reality for high schoolers, if they have to be on like Tinder or whatever to get dates in high school, like that's sad. Like,
right. So that's why I'm hoping it doesn't happen.
People right around you.
I agree. But I think we are so involved in the electronics and the phone and the digital world that it kind of just seeps. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to take the hard route. So I think I'm also going to be like, you don't have phones until you drive in. And so guess what? Guess what? The high school is like 4 blocks away from our house. You can bike. Right. You can walk to school.
Oh, yes. All right. Any last thoughts on that?
That's it. I
know. You freaked out.
I get a little freaked out, but no, it's all good.
Cool.
It's all good.
All right. Web exclusive joke. You're going to tell a joke.
I'm going to tell a joke.
I'm so bad at it. You're going to show me how it's done.
I'm going to show you how it's done.
All right.
Well, I'm going to preface this with, this is not my original joke.
Fair. I got all mine off the internet.
I don't know where it originally came from. I originally heard it from my father.
Yeah.
And so I hope I can tell it as well as he would, because he is top-notch, excellent joke teller.
So true.
I know. So.
Yes.
There was a man and a woman married, husband and wife, and they were having a fight, and they were having an epic fight. And they had gotten to the point where they had decided they were in the no talk portion of the fight, the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
And of course, once you're in that portion of the fight, you do not want to be the one to break the silence, right?
I'm very bad at that.
I know.
Yes.
I know. But you want to win, and that's how you win, is you make the other person talk to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the husband was getting ready for a business trip.
Okay.
And he realized that the next morning he needed to be up early to catch his plane. And usually his wife was the one to make sure that he was up on time. But he didn't want to talk to her about it. So he thought, I got a way. He figured out a way he was going to work around this. So he found a Post-it note. And he wrote on the Post-it note, honey, plane leaves at 5 a.m. I need to be out the door by 4:30. Okay, something like that. And he left the Post-it note where he knew she would see it. Next morning, he wakes up. He looks at the alarm clock. 6:30. Missed the plane. Livid. He's throwing the covers off, about ready to go yell at his wife when he notices the Post-it note on the pillow. Wake up, honey. It's 4 a.m.
I kind of saw that coming.
Of course you did. I can't tell it the way my dad. He did such a good job the first time he told it. See, if he hears me tell it, here's what's gonna happen. He's gonna find me, and in a very loving, wonderful, sweet way, he's gonna say, "You got the punchline."
No, I just think it's a little predictable.
It is, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah,
I think it's a funny one,
it is
especially
good.
for someone
About to go on a business
going
trip.
on his little business trip.
True.
For a long time where things might get a little tense, and we know that we might get a little upset.
Yeah. Definitely.
But I'll still talk to you.
Yeah, I looked for business trip jokes online, and they are all very profane. So you're welcome for sparing you from those.
Yeah. I read one. I was like, that's not
maybe
nice.
not okay.
That's not okay.
Yeah. Do you want to wrap it up, or do you want to do a quick web exclusive on this real quick?
I'm fine with a web exclusive on that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know if you guys can see the live chat, but we have a live chat in here that says, y'all don't know how lucky you are to have found love naturally. And I agree with you 100%. Every day, every time we talk about the dating scene nowadays, or the things that we see other people go through with online dating, or with like just single adults, we always come back to how lucky we were when that we happened to meet each other at the right time, how basically we were both just single at the right time together. And I feel extremely blessed that it worked out, because it was just so lucky.
Yeah. It was, like, without getting cheesy, it feels fated.
Yeah.
It was our destiny.
Yeah. We kind of talked about this in the van on the way either to or from Texas, about how, oh gosh, I just, your destiny thing tripped my brain.
To be cheesy, it was fate.
Yes. No, before that. So no, we talked about how like college
certain decisions.
No, this is where I was. I got it. So we talked about how, because we entered dating with intentionality as college people, and we kind of had this picture of how we wanted life to go.
Right.
And we had this kind of roadmap.
Not like a plan, not like a 10-year plan of like, in 2 years I will be married, and in 2 more years I will have my first child. Right. Not like that, just a picture of the future.
Yeah, like
this is who I will be in the future. Yeah.
I think that really helps set us up for success in the dating realm. And so this is kind of, I'll kind of just rehash the conversation we had. So I had this,
rehab it.
Yeah. I had this kind of idea of what the traditional life path was, right? So I had this idea that, you go to high school, and then you go to college, and in college you start dating somebody that you're kind of serious about. And then by the time you're done with college, you should be engaged, because you found the person, you're 22 years old and you found the person that you want to marry. And then sometime shortly after that, you get married, and then you start having kids. That's what I saw either on TV or through my parents or other people's parents as kind of the stereotypical, this is how life goes,
normal, right? Yeah. This is the normal. And this is good.
Yeah. And I saw it as a good thing. And so I don't think I was sitting myself down at 18, 19 years old and saying, you will find a girl to marry. Right.
Like, in 4 years, I must have a potential wife. She must like me, and it must be, like an 85% match on,
Yeah. And so I do think that even though I didn't have that like specificity or that like smart goal where I was like, this has to happen in mind, I did approach dating and the college experience with kind of that idea lurking in the background.
Mhm.
I kind of had that. I was gonna approach it, but if it, I wasn't gonna force it to happen. But if that was kind of the direction I wanted it to go in,
Yeah.
right?
I think, yeah, I think what it has to do with is when you start dating someone, it's that, like you said, the intentionality.
Yeah,
Um, dating to date, there's another podcaster out there who says that dating to date, like dating sucks.
yeah.
Dating
is not fun.
dating is not fun. Um, being engaged and planning a wedding together and then being married is fun.
Yeah,
But just I don't understand the chronic dating.
mm,
Just the date you for a while, date you for a while, date you for a while. And I don't think that is what people really want. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone's out there going like, I'm just gonna date you for a while.
right.
I'm gonna date you for a while. And I'm gonna date you for a while.
Yeah.
And if you are doing that, like, why?
Right. I think you
You
have to be very clear on what your goals are and what you
Right.
want out
Right.
of dating. What is the end goal?
Right. And that's the thing is dating is I wish we could still call it courting.
Yeah.
Because courting, to court someone was to basically spend time with them and decide whether or not they were a match for
Mhm.
you. If whether or not you could survive marriage and not kill each other,
Yeah.
and love each other. I'm not saying, it's like, oh, we just tolerate, but I wish we would go back to that idea of dating and courting where it's not just about like, let's have fun in the moment and like, why do we have to define what we are? No, define what you are. Do you like each other well enough that you could be married to each other? If yes, well then like get going.
Yeah.
And if you don't, not necessarily saying like, well, cut it off right there, but establish why. Is it stuff we can work through? Is it
Right.
just time? Is it no, actually there are like major things about you that bother me and I could just never. Well, then don't waste your time anymore and don't waste their time.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that you and I both came in with was we had been in relationships for a while where I had established a relationship with a guy where for a while I was like, yeah, this is the guy I'm going to marry. And then just a few things happened where all of a sudden things fell into place and I kind of went, oh, no.
You're right.
No. I'm glad I found this out now. You're still a fine person, but we can't work this out.
Yeah. I think I had the almost inverse feeling where I was dating somebody and I was getting to a point where I was like, okay, we've been together for like a year, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I looked at myself and I was like, crap, I'm going to have to marry this girl. And
whereas I felt like I better run, and you were like, crap, I'm stuck.
Well, yeah, I got to a point in my dating with this person where I was like, we've been together a long time and this is kind of feeling
this is the next step.
Right. And I had to take a hard, long look at it and say, okay, no, this is not the person that I want to be with.
Yeah.
And at that point you're like, well, there's no reason to keep dating then.
Right. Gotta say done.
Yeah. So I think it really comes down to, your definition of dating and your definition of marriage and what your goals are in meeting those definitions. Right. And so if marriage is this thing that you're going to do with one person for the rest of your life and you're going to be committed to them and, better, worse, the whole shtick
and stop looking.
Right. Then dating is finding that person.
Right.
And so,
and you have, and I think the way this was put, how lucky you are to have found love naturally. I think it is luck today because you can have all of that intentionality and you have to just hope that you find the other person who has that same intentionality.
Yeah. And isn't lying about it.
Right.
Which then comes to the conversation about settling, because we also had that conversation.
Yeah.
But maybe for another time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I feel lucky. I feel very blessed.
Very lucky.
And I know that because of our commitment, that's then we're set.
Yes.
We don't have anything to worry about.
I stopped looking a long time ago. Not worth it. All right.
All right, guys, that's all we've got for you this week. We will keep you posted on what the next few weeks of the podcast are going to look like because of that extended training that we talked about earlier in the show. But be on the lookout for that. And it will go into effect next
Monday.
/ Wednesday, however you receive the podcast, whether it's live video or audio podcast.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you
next time.